KUAM News Headlines is presented by Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years. Matson, gold sponsor of the 2018 Micro Games in Yap. The all-new 2018 Kona by Hyundai, available at Cars Plus. IP&E, fueling excellence. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, located in Tamuning and Dedido. Always open, always local.
Ahead on primetime, could a gubernatorial team be out of the race? The eligibility of a lieutenant governor candidate is questioned. Plus, the administration under fire after the feds order them to cease transferring E911 funds. And the UOG board elects the new head of the university during a late-night meeting.
Hafaday and good evening.
Well, Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. could be out of a running mate. KUAM broke the story earlier today that Dave Cruz will have to make a decision on whether he will stay or leave the campaign.
Chris Barnett reports.
KUAM News confirms the Attorney General has advised Department of Education Superintendent John Fernandez on Cruz's eligibility to be a candidate. Although Cruz, in a phone conversation with KUAM, declined to comment, he did confirm a decision on his candidacy for Lieutenant Governor as part of the Rodriguez-Cruz team would be on the way.
You can confirm that you've spoken with the superintendent about the advice he received from the Attorney General regarding your candidacy?
Sabrina, I told you I have no comment on this issue right now.
Have you made a decision?
When I do, no, I haven't made a decision.
Will you be making a decision by the end of today?
I haven't seen a copy of anything in writing, so, no decision has been made. That's all I can tell you.
No decision has been made, but you can confirm that you will be making a decision on your candidacy.
I won't be making a decision today.
But you will be making a decision?
Yes, eventually when the time comes.
When you receive something in writing?
Absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you, sir.
That's all I can tell you.
According to AG spokesperson Carlina Charfris, Cruz's contract as a junior ROTC Director of Instruction is not in question. The issue, however, is whether or not, as a DOE contract employee, Cruz is eligible to run for office while working for the Department of Education. The issue brought to light as a result of a letter to the AG's office from former Senator Bob Klitsky, who maintained Cruz should not be able to run for political office while working for DOE. Cruz's $125,000 a year contract signed off on by Governor Eddie Calvo and AG Elizabeth Barrett Anderson. The contract drawing controversy after allegations were made by Troy Torres that the governor held the contract hostage in exchange for Senator Rodriguez's support on a tax hike bill. Rodriguez later said the allegations made by Torres were true. However, Adelut refuted the story, noting the contract was eventually signed by Governor Eddie Calvo. If Cruz backs out of the race, Rodriguez could still run for senator, but would have to meet all the requirements, including gathering the 250 signatures necessary, or he could choose a new running mate, and that would mean he'd have to file a new organizational report and gather 500 signatures in a new nominating petition. The deadline up against the clock next Tuesday, June 26. For Guam's News Network, Chris Barnett reports.
Well, at least one forgery on the Tenorio Attic gubernatorial team's nominating petition will be investigated by the white-collar crime unit of the Attorney General's office. As reported first on KUAM News, the Guam Election Commission employees Albert Sanga Jr. signed an affidavit stating his signature was forged on a voter petition circulated by Eduardo Ordonez. KUAM News has also discovered other forgeries on the voter petition circulated by Ordonez. Paul Jr. Gogui of Dedido tells KUAM News he did not sign the voter petition, even though his name and address are listed on the petition. Attorney General Elizabeth Barrett Anderson says this will be fully investigated. Quote, intentionally falsifying any part of a government document, whether part of an election process or generally, is a crime. Even with forgeries on the Tenorio Attic petition calling into question the validity of the voter team's petition, the GEC has no intention of conducting an audit of petitions. Ordonez told KUAM News he gave his petitions to other voter campaign workers to get signatures, and then he signed off on them, which, according to the GEC's Executive Director Maria Pangilinan, says is a violation of election law.
The BOTA campaign late this afternoon said they were alerted by the Guam Election Commission of potential petition inaccuracies. Quote, "We trust the GEC Director Maria Pangilinan, the GEC board, and its hardworking staff with the verification process of our election petitions and those of all other gubernatorial teams and candidates running in the 2018 elections. We as a campaign also want accuracy and welcome whatever investigative process that has to take place when anomalies are found. Until there are any subsequent authentication from other agencies that are a part of the investigative protocol, we reserve to comment at this time," end quote.
Staying with D18 news, she may not have officially filed, but she had every intention of running. That is until today, Kate Baltasar on social media announced that she would not be seeking a seat in the 35th Guam legislature. Her decision to suspend her campaign was based on a long discussion with her family, but don't count her out from future elections. Baltasar commented she will be back in the race in the near future.
The Calvo administration is under fire from the Federal Communications Commission for diverting several $million from the Emergency 911 Fund.
That's right, and the FCC is also chastising Automotive for not responding to multiple calls for an explanation. Nestor Lecanto reports.
In a June 20 letter to Governor Calvo, FCC Commissioner Mike O'Reilly writes that it appears some $4 million was diverted from the 911 fund from 2014 to 2017. He writes that 911 collected fees must not be corrupted by governments diverting funding for other purposes, which ultimately undermines public confidence and the overall integrity of these systems. In a response dated Thursday, Automotive points to a budget law passed by the legislature in 2017, which it says allows it to use money from special funds even if it's not in conformance with the statutory use of said funds. The governor writes that in the case of the E911 special fund, the monies that were not transferred to GFD represented unspent funds that had lapsed or were unappropriated. But during the fire department's budget hearing, Speaker B.J. Cruz asked Deputy Chief Joey San Nicolas specifically about the E911 money.
Wasn't the federal statute very clear about the use of these funds that you've been authorized to collect?
Yes.
Does the transfer of that $839,583 comply with federal statute?
No, it doesn't. The short answer is no. However, again, this is unappropriated funds, so it was transferred by DOA.
But Automotive maintains the transfer of fees was made within the parameters of both federal and local law. But that's not how the FCC sees it. O'Reilly writes that it is beyond disappointing to learn that your territory has made a habit of diverting these funds for other purposes. He goes on to ask the governor to cease such diversionary practices at once and work with the commission to deliver on Next Generation 911 for Guam. For Guam's News Network, I'm Nestor Lecanto.
Meantime, Speaker B.J. Cruz, in a letter to the FCC today, states the governor's statements is, quote, false on their face. Cruz noting that he informed DOA last October that the transfer of the E911 fund to the general fund is a violation of Guam law.
The speaker insisted then DOA Director Christine Beleto stop the transfers. Beleto responded in part that the permanent transfer of funds at the end of the fiscal year is a result of compliance with a Government Accounting Standards Board statement. You can read the letters between the administration, the speaker, and the FCC on KUAM.com.
Well, we first broke the story overnight. The search now over after extensive interviews and on-campus visits with the top 4 finalists for the president of the University of Guam.
The UOG Board of Regents met Thursday night and voted for the University of Guam president-elect, Dr. Thomas Christ. Carmen Terlahi has the story.
The UOG Board has named the candidate they want to head the university. He is Dr. Thomas Christ. The process rather lengthy and controversial at one point. The board meeting in executive session Thursday night. But of the 4 finalists, not one candidate was able to meet the 5-vote requirement during the first go-around. During the second, both student region and the treasurer switched their votes from Dr. Bruce Murphy to Dr. Thomas Christ. The final tally, 2 votes for Dr. Anita Borja Enriquez, the only local candidate coming from Regents Chris Felix and Dr. Hyosang Ji. 6 votes for Dr. Thomas Christ. From Chairwoman Elizabeth Gale, Vice Chair Gillette Leon Guerrero, Elvin Chiang, Treasurer Gerald Philish, Lisa Pravito, and Student Regent Annie Faye Camacho. Dr. Thomas spoke with Island Media during his recent trip to the territory.
I think that I bring experiences and kind of a way of thinking that would take the university to the next steps that it needs to go.
Christ went to high school in the U.S. Virgin Islands, served 22 years in the Air Force, and retired as lieutenant colonel, and has experience at both public and private universities. The former president of Pacific Lutheran University in Tacoma, Washington, now serves as a professor of English with a focus on Caribbean literature. During his on-campus visit, he discussed his vision for UOG.
Something that the University of Guam might emphasize a bit more would be under the category of international relations, cross-cultural communication, diplomacy, strategy, and leadership. So that's a category that's addressing Guam's significant place geographically in the world.
Now that the vote is over, the next step is the negotiation process. Outgoing President Dr. Robert Underwood, we should note, takes home more than $220,000 a year. The negotiations will include how much Christ will get paid. President Underwood will remain interim president until the process is complete. Reporting for Guam's News Network, I'm Carmen Victoria Chirlahi.
Thanks, Carmen. Well, family and friends continue to mourn the tragic death of Tamika Nauta. The 15-year-old girl was stabbed nearly a week ago at a Dededo home. Her killer remains on the run.
The family have declined KUAM's request for an interview. It appears her peers are turning to social media to help them cope. Here's more.
Hashtag justice for Mika. Teens are evidently turning to social media to cope with the loss of 15-year-old Tamika Nauta.
Rest in peace, young homie. There's a heaven for a G. You may be physically gone, but your presence never leaves.
An accompanying song was written by Christian Munya. Nauta's friends reached out to him to pay musical tribute to their beloved friend.
See her friends here telling me she would put herself last. As long as she had a friend smiling and she had a good laugh. And that's all that she needed, all that she breathed in.
Mika's friends like 17-year-old Tiara Rose Camacho still in shock.
It hit me really hard. Like, I didn't want to believe it. And I didn't want to believe it. I started crying a little bit because, like, she's just so young and she didn't get to really live her life. And for someone to do this, it's just like, it's sad. Sometimes, like, I just feel myself thinking about her and, like, I just start to tear up. But then, like, I try to not think of it as she's gone, but that she's in a better place now.
The last time Camacho saw Nauta was on the last day of classes at Okuru High School.
I miss her so much, and I wish I could have saw her one last time.
Nearly a week has passed and still no arrests have been made in connection to this case. Camacho telling KUAM she has but one question.
Why? Like, she didn't deserve this, so all I want to know is just why. She was an amazing girl, to be honest. She was, like, always caring. She was always out there. She'd always make people laugh. There was just, like, a lot of amazing things about her.
If you have any information on this case, you are urged to call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP.
I hope whoever did this, man, you truly regret this. Took away your young life, you took away your blessing. Hope that they catch you when the justice is served. You may be gone, but your name will live on this earth.
In other news, 2 men are under arrest accused of entering a home and threatening the victim with a knife and tire iron. Bernard Joel Munya and Benjamin Anthony Munya are charged with home invasion, burglary, and terrorizing. Police responded to the incident in Mauricio on Wednesday. Court documents state the suspects threatened to kill the victim multiple times. The victim told police he recently was involved in a dispute with one of the suspects over a car. Officers later tracked them down and made the arrests.
Controversy at the hospital prompts a legislative investigative committee. The committee will meet to discuss a recent CMS survey outlining hospital mismanagement and deficiencies that could lose the hospital millions of dollars in Medicare and Medicaid funding. The meeting is scheduled for 1:30 in the afternoon, Friday, June 29th, headed by Health Oversight Chair Dennis Rodriguez Jr. at the Guam Congress Building.
Well, stick around for more news here on Primetime.
You're watching KUAM.
There are more ways to experience KUAM News than any other source on Guam. Download the KUAM News app for your Apple or Android device for 24/7 news, sports, videos, weather, streaming with KUAM radio, and important news alerts. And stay connected at home with Guam's first app for Apple TV. All available now from the App Store.
A simple handshake. That's all Jake Calvo needed when he started his company. Today, 80 years later, we like to say thank you to all of you who have taken our hand in trust. Thank you to the dreamers. Thank you to the realists. Thank you to the family-oriented. Thank you to the entrepreneurial. Thank you to those climbing the corporate ladder. And to the ones starting a new life together. Thank you to the traditionalists and the edgy, to the young at heart and the old souls. Thank you to the daring, to the protective, to the practical. Thank you to the hopeful. To all of you from all of us, our deepest, happiest, and infinite thanks.
80 years here for you. 80 years thanks to you. Calvo's Insurance, a legacy of trust.
On my last day at the court, I was presented this jar of Post-its. During the presentation, they said, Josh, we asked every single employee to write down a word that best describes you. They must really believe it's an important thing that they need to share with me. So it's quite humbling when you see, what people think of you. Professional, leadership, visionary, articulate, dedicated, admirable, caring. It meant to me that people that worked for me were very happy with my leadership. They were very thankful for my leadership, and they were impacted by my leadership. I want to serve as a lieutenant governor because the skill sets, my experiences, and my energy, and this is an opportunity for me to help push a vision. That's the reason why I'm willing to take a risk and run for office.
In this divided world, there are still things that unite us. Great music, thrilling games, and the love for that perfect burger. Ruby Tuesday Guam, for the love of burgers menu. For a limited time, get an amazing burger for just $11.99. Lunchtime at Ruby Tuesday Guam.
There are more ways to experience Guam via KUAM News, giving you what you want, when you want, and how you want it. From smart devices, Alexa, what's in the news?
Here's your flash briefing.
Over the web, on mobile, on streaming platforms, with immersive, interactive formats, and via social media where it's more than just content, it's conversation. More ways to keep you informed and entertained whenever you want it, wherever you are, on whatever device you're using.
Welcome back. The tax department's amnesty program appears to be working, this contributing to the $4 million in tax refunds set to go out this week. In the latest meeting of the Special Economic Service, Reventax says more than 1,000 companies and individuals have come forward to make good on back taxes now that they're waiving all penalties. Here's John Camacho, the tax director, with the numbers.
Which, if you combine both income tax, BPT, and real property, we're about total taxes reported is about $23,161,591.64. Of that total, $11,502,222.90 is paid, and we have a balance to collect by August 6 of $11,659,000 $368.74.
He says the amnesty filing deadline was extended again to Tuesday, June 26, before another last-minute rush, but the due date to pay in full remains August 6th.
Guam is not in the clear yet on whether cockfighting will be banned here. The House of Representatives passed the Agriculture and Nutrition Act of 2018, or better known as the Farm Bill, today. The measure not only makes drastic cuts to SNAP or food stamp benefits, but would also impose a federal ban on cockfighting in the United States territories. This is the second vote House Republicans have held on the 2018 Farm Bill after the first vote failed. The bill will be reworked into a compromise farm bill with the U.S. Senate after the Senate passes its own version. Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo has made clear that to Senate Agriculture Committee that she strongly opposes any effort to impose the federal cockfighting ban on U.S. territories without our consent.
A cut of more than $900,000 is heading our way. U.S. EPA providing the money to Guam EPA, American Samoa EPA, and the Bureau of Environmental and Coastal Quality in the CNMI. The funds would support beach and water quality monitoring and information sharing throughout each territory. The announcement of the funding was made at the Pacific Islands Environment Directors meeting this week in San Francisco. EPA is making over $300,000 available to each territory to strengthen their monitoring and notification programs and to make monitoring results readily available to the public.
A small group of protesters led by legislative candidate Ned Pablo held a rally along the site of the future U.S. Marine Corps base in Dededo. Pablo says he opposes the buildup because the Chamorro people were not consulted, and local leaders ignored all the negative impacts of the relocation of thousands of troops. Pablo believes public sentiment has shifted against the military buildup.
In the beginning, yes, when this all came out, they were for it. But now, because a lot of expert testimony has come out, even on the economical side, and it's showing that it's not worth it anymore.
Pablo says to prove his point, he wants the local government to hold a referendum on the buildup. Meanwhile, he's calling on all residents of Guam, including non-Chamorros, to join his cause, saying everyone is affected by the military buildup.
Helping homeless veterans get back on their feet, WestCare Pacific Islands makes it their mission to help veterans find stable homes, especially if there's a chance they might end up homeless. Here's Mike Martinez, the outreach specialist.
It's to assist those veterans at risk of being homeless because they're either behind on their rent or utilities, or they're caught surfing with a friend or family member, or they could be coming from institutions such as the behavioral clinic, Lighthouse.
Their Hagåtña office is open for any veterans in need of assistance. Martinez says if you want to lend a helping hand, you can call them. The 24/7 hotline number is 482-9001.
Come one, come all. The Guam Liberation Festival's search for vendors is ongoing. Festivities begin next month in July from the 11th to the 22nd at Paseo. Applications are due next week on June 25th. Interested vendors can find the application link on our website or visit the Guam Visitors Bureau or the Department of Parks and Recreation office.
Nissan unveils the newest model in its top-of-the-line Infiniti series. The auto company says its luxury crossover QX50 features the groundbreaking and world's first production-ready VC turbo engine and variable compression ratio engine that combines power and fuel efficiency. We were treated to a test drive of the brand new model of Nissan sales consultants. Here's AJ Leao and Ann Blas.
With this Infiniti in particular, it has a Pro Pilot Assist. So for example, if I set this, if there were lanes and there were marked lanes, the car would kind of like sense that and stay in those steered path. So if you kind of drift off, you won't be able to drift off. If you do drift off, the car will set you back on the right path. So the interior styling is a lot different from what you'll see in the Infiniti lineup now, where you'll see a lot of the accents, the handcrafted material. Because a lot of the drivers are moving towards more SUVs and crossovers, the QX50 is probably one of our most popular car and one of the best sellers that we have upcoming in the lineup. Yeah, again, it's that VC turbo. So like for example, like if I press on the gas a bit more, we have some of that power.
I can feel that, yeah.
But if I need to, and then I'm low on gas, I can kind of conserve all of that. It just tailors to whatever driving mode you want. It's either like, okay, do you want a fun, fast car, or do you want to save gas? And this one is both.
The 2019 Nissan QX50 starts at around 41 grand, going up to 55 grand with some special added features.
Sports is next, but first here's a look at your weekend weather.
Smartphone Super Sale event. Enjoy huge savings on our most popular Samsung Galaxy smartphones. But this offer won't last long. So drop into a GTA store today.
Make every day a plus.
We're celebrating our 135th anniversary today, both in the outlying regions on which we hub and also here in Guam itself. It means so much to our team here in Guam. It means a lot to us in the Matson management team, because what it says is we're here to stay. It's a real physical manifestation of our commitment to this region. It's so important that we hire locally, we develop talent locally, we train locally. What's been a wonderful addition to our approach there is that many of the people who started off in Guam have gone off into significant leadership roles elsewhere in the company.
This is our headquarters here in Guam in Micronesia. And when we talk about putting down our roots, it's not just doing business, it's about everything we do with our friends, our customers, and our employees. I believe that nobody can replicate what we do, and that's why we have such a great team and such a great service and why we're successful. This is our home, this is our life, and we're happy to make a difference in everyone else's life.
It's a celebration at Cars Plus and Mighty. And during our Jeep celebration event, you'll save thousands on every new Jeep in stock. Like a new 2018 Compass, save up to $3,750. Or save up to $4,000 on a new 2018 Cherokee. How about a new Renegade? Save up to $6,000. Plus, buy today and receive a Cars Plus value card, where you get 21 cents off per gallon at all Shell stations. Hurry in for our Jeep celebration event, going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you.
KUAM Sports is presented by Triple J.
What's up, Guam? Dave Delgado here for KUAM Sports. Thanks for watching. Let's get right into your Di-Rent-To-Own Athlete of the Week. Check it out. We're here at Di-Rent-To-Own Mingilao for our Athlete of the Week. Today we have a few of the newly promoted black belts from Purebred Academy.
Laurent Gondoli, I've been training for 11 years.
DJ Camacho, 11 years.
Alan Cepeda, I've been training for 11 years.
Hafide, my name is James Roberto, and I've been training for 12 years.
Congratulations, fellas, on your promotion to black belt. Who would you like to donate this check to?
We'd like to donate this check to victim advocates reaching out.
It's been a long journey. Tell us the journey of you guys individually, or maybe yourself, getting to that black belt status.
From white belt, it was, you know, it was a foreign sport, you know, a lot of contact. Put yourself in places that you're not really used to. And as we go through the years, you learn to develop or even just get used to the being put under pressure, duress, you know. And as we get into the upper belts, it was more like we start to share jiu-jitsu with others, you know, and then it kind of pays back forward and helps us get to the next level. And now that at black belt, for us, it's, Professor said, Roberto, just paying it forward better.
A lot of people don't realize, but it transitions to off the mat as well, kind of like a spiritual thing that you guys go through, not only physically but mentally too.
Yes, the lifestyle of jiu-jitsu is very humbling. So I think that's what we all have in our life right now, is we all thought we had a certain skill level, but we were all humbled on the mat. And I think once we lead by example, and that lifestyle was spread out.
And throughout the years of you guys practicing and doing the sport of jiu-jitsu, you guys been through numerous tournaments. You guys competed all over the world. But what's your most memorable moment?
I went to Father Dueñas for high school, and we always hold the Marianas Open at the Phoenix Center, and I got to see the best black belts in the world compete at the Phoenix Center, and it was the best experience of my life, just seeing jiu-jitsu spread out so much that it brought the best in the world to my little tiny island. That was awesome for me.
Now achieving that black belt status comes with being labeled a professor off the mats, carrying yourself in a different way, because not only do other jiu-jitsu players look at you guys in a different perspective, but also the kids that practice in the sport as well.
Now that we're at the black belt level, I think a lot of the responsibility, which comes with it, is really like, what my friend said, paying it forward now. We gotta pass on, all the life lessons we've learned, throughout this, 12 to 14 years, this whole journey we've been on, how to really pass it on and show people how jiu-jitsu can really benefit them, not only on the mats, but as well off the mats. More importantly, off the mats, it builds up your character, builds up your confidence, and really makes you a genuinely better person. So I think our biggest responsibility as black belts now is to really try to pay it forward and represent Purebred Jiu-Jitsu Academy to our best and represent Guam to our best.
Congratulations, fellas. Stay tuned to our next Darren Athlete of the Week.
KUAM Sports Athlete of the Week is brought to you by...
The Southern Cowboys Youth Football Organization is hosting a 5K run walk tomorrow at the Jontnia Gym. Showtime is at 5 in the morning with go time scheduled for 6. The run will take participants halfway down Turtle Cove and back to the gym. So make sure to come out and support the youth football players and their fundraising efforts. Guam Youth Bowler Jeremiah Camacho is coming home with the Macau International Open Youth title. The 15-year-old bowler accumulated an 8 games total pinfall of 1,765 for Guam's first youth title. Camacho averaged 220.6 in the Masters event, finishing first out of 24 bowlers.
Well, that's going to do it for sports. We're back right after this.
We only have 30 seconds to describe the newest specialty flavor in the Signature Crafted Recipes collection by McDonald's, Garlic White Cheddar. It's layered with a slice of smooth, perfectly melty white cheddar cheese, a crunchy medley of tasty crispy garlic chips, a dramatic drizzle of smooth, delicious, and flavorful, delectably creamy garlic aioli, all come together with a mouth-wateringly juicy tomato slice and crisp iceberg lettuce atop crispy buttermilk chicken on a soft, warm artisan roll. Luckily, you can take all the time you need to savor every bite. The Signature Crafted Recipes collection by McDonald's.
As administrator of the courts, I've seen firsthand how many criminal cases are filed each and every day. Crime is on the rise, and we do not feel safe, even in our own homes. A Leon Guerrero Tenorio administration will make public safety a top priority by hiring enough police officers for our roads and in our villages. We will expand community policing, and we will provide our officers with the equipment and resources to do their job safely. I'm in to protect our families, and I humbly ask you to vote for us.
I'm Lilian Guerrero, and I approve this message.
When you purchase a vehicle from our dealerships, we give back to the American Cancer Society and Guam Cancer Care. With your help, together, we've raised over $400,000, giving local cancer patients a gift of more anniversaries, more birthdays, more years, more days. Together, we're giving them the gift of time. Triple J, customers first.
And before we close out this newscast, time to check in with the latest round of birthday shout-outs from the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club.
Happy birthday, Mariana. Timing low. Happy birthday, Mariana. I'm wishing you nothing but the best on your special day. We love you. Also, happy birthday to Xander T. Borja from Mom, Dad, and the family. Happy birthday, Bobby Joe Parrish Cruz. Happy second birthday, Bobby Joe Parrish Cruz. Love your sister, Zoe, Jane, your brother, Thomas J. Cruz, and your mom and dad. Celebrating this weekend, Connor Salas. Happy birthday. And turning 9, Hayden Akfaji. We love you, Din. From Mommy, Daddy, brother, and Sissy. Also, happy birthday to Chad Uggan, turning 18 this weekend, or today actually. And happy birthday to KUAM Zone, Eli Monge.
Happy birthday, everyone. Remember, you can be part of the Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club. Just register online on KUAM.com. Be sure to include with that your photo, your name, and your birthday.
And Nick, it's our favorite time of the week.
Yep, the drum roll, please, because it's the time to announce the winner of the yummy Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Cake. And this week's winner, Chris, is...
Congratulations, Scott G. O'Brien Jr. Happy belated birthday. Someone from Cold Stone will call you on how you can redeem your yummy Cold Stone Creamery ice cream cake to share with us.
Right. That's going to do it for us here in the news. Stay tuned. Extra starts now.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E.
Hafide and welcome everybody. I'm Jason Salas, and tonight we give you details on an exciting festival happening next week at the Valley of the Lati. Also, classic cars are back at Guam's Barbecue Block Party, and we will give you all the